Okay, in today's tutorial, we are going to learn how to load and unload the filament properly on your A1 Mini. So first, we are going to take the loose end from your filament roll, hold on to it so it does not unravel. Very important that it doesn't unravel, as it can cause a tangle. And now we're going to take our roll and place it to where your line spools from underneath the bottom, and place it onto your spool holder, and then feed the filament through the PTFE tube all the way to the hot end until it stops. All right, then on the screen we're going to go to where it says filament, and that's at the bottom left, and then we're going to choose load. And you'll see that it has a numbers 1 through 6 on what it's doing. So currently it's going to heat the nozzle to 250 degrees Celsius. That's very hot. Okay, now that the nozzle has reached temperature, it's telling me to push the new filament in, so we're going to gently give it a push here. And it's going to ask you whether or not you have seen filament come from the nozzle. That's what it says on the screen. If you haven't seen it push through yet, choose not extruded yet, retry. And then back here again, gently push to start feeding the filament in. And it's going to ask the same question. You may need to repeat this a few times until you see the filament coming out of the nozzle. Yep, and I'm going to do it for a third time just to be sure. And yes, it looks like it is now taking the filament. So now it will, you can choose finish extruded, continue. So now what it's going to do is purge the old filament out of the nozzle. And in my case, it's a gray filament, and it should be changing over to orange, or I'm sorry, yellow. I'm colorblind. Joking. Okay, I can see the yellow filament. There, it's kicked a piece out there. And it says load completed. And we'll click on that to get us back into the screen for the PLA. Now we're going to tell it what color we've loaded on here, because it does not know. So we're going to go to Edit. And here we're going to choose the manufacturer of the filament and the type. So here, if Bambu Lab isn't already shown, that's what I am using, is Bambu Lab filament, and it is PLA basic. If it wasn't PLA basic, you would hit that arrow there to get more options. And then here I'm going to choose the color, and here I am using yellow. And then under the dynamic pressure control, leave that at default. We do not have to touch that. Then just click OK. Now we have our new filament loaded, and we can go back to the main screen and start a print. Now I'm going to show you how to properly unload the filament so that you can put on a new color or a new material other than PLA. So here we're going to go back into filament, which is at the bottom left, and then we're going to choose unload. Okay, and it's going to do the same again. It will heat the nozzle up to 250 degrees. And you will see some oozing from the nozzle. That is perfectly normal. It will wipe that nozzle and drop it into your little chute that you have on your printer. Mine, I have a bucket down here at the bottom. Now you'll see it come all the way over and cut the filament. There it is. It's made a complete cut. And then on the screen, it's going to tell you to pull back the current filament. So what we're going to do is grab the roll and start spooling it back, holding on to the line gently, and you'll see it through the tube. I can see the end of it coming up here until it's all the way out. Do not let go, because we don't want to let that unspool. And you can remove the spool from the holder, and you can put it through the holes like so for storage, and then you can load up a new spool of filament.